Ireland clinched the Triple Crown after a pulsating game against Scotland. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Brilliant performance from Ireland in this one, but Scotland were there blow for blow for much of the game, and it was only really late on that Ireland were able to make things a little bit more comfortable for themselves. So we have a really fast start to the game, and Ireland attacking into 22. Great hands. You got Doris with the back pass to Crowley, and then a bullet pass to Osborne. Under the post he goes, converted for 7 points to 0. Scotland, though, didn't take long to get back into it. They tie Ireland up on the left, go through multiple phases into 22. Great work from Dempsey in that period. Then they move it wide right. You can see that they have numbers. Darcy Graham over in the corner to score. Finn Russell nails the conversion for 7 points all. And Scotland just really making a statement saying, you know, you're not going to have it all your own way today. Then all action. Ireland retake the lead. Sheehan off the back of the maul over Crowley. Bends the conversion between the posts for 14 points to 7. Doris then gets pinged for kicking the ball out of Ben White's hands, and it's a beautiful kick from Russell to put Scotland about 10 metres out. They move the ball going from one out carries in the forwards. Ireland's defence holds though, and McCluskey forces Russell to drop the ball. Ireland then first to that loose ball and are able to clear. But again, dangerous signs from Scotland, but not quite the clinical edge to them as Ireland have shown so far in the game. Ireland then turns Scotland over in the maul. Great work from Joe McCarthy, and that sets up a period of possession in the Scotland half for Ireland. They then strike from a scrum. Lovely pass from McCluskey to Balakoon. Uses pace, able to beat Darcy Graham and over the score. There's a worry about a foot and touch, but it's all good. Conversions missed 19 points to 7. Ireland then on attack outside of the Scotland 22, but there's obstruction by Osborne as a penalty to Scotland, who are able to lift the pressure and start trying to work it further up the field. Darge then gets over the ball, wins a penalty. Russell puts them in the corner. Scotland, another sustained period of possession into 22, but Tyg Byrne gets over the ball, wins a penalty. Great defence there, and Byrne really was a menace today. And you feel like Ireland's physicality is really causing Scotland problems. And the weird thing is, like, you know, Scotland, their physicality was the reason why, or a big reason why, they had such a dominant start against France, and completely the other way around. But we've said it in this tournament, it can change week to week. Ireland then look to attack off a scrum, but as they move the ball, it goes to ground. Graham hacks on. Kinghorn chases. Van der Fleer eventually ties it up, and Ireland can clear. But again, danger signs there for Ireland. Ewan Ashman then, he's getting treatment. He's already come on for Turner, who had to go off. Thankfully, he is able to continue, and he actually had a pretty good game after that. Scotland, though, lacking accuracy as they look to move the ball, resulting in costly errors. Half-time score, 19 points to 7. Into the second half, a dart from Russell between Doris and Byrne. That leads to a period of sustained Scotland possession in the Ireland half, but Byrne eventually gets in there and turns the ball over as Ferguson gets isolated in the carry. Darcy Graham then, brilliant footwork as he picks his way past a few Irish tackles. Scotland move it. Doris gets pinged for a high tackle on Ashman. Russell puts Scotland 10 metres out. Scotland then go through the phases 5 metres out from the line. Ashman gets them close. They work it left to right before Russell gets through a gap and over to score. He converts his own try, 19 points to 14. We then have a big carry from Doris as Ireland go off the top of the line out. Osborne brings them to the edge of the 22. Then a great carry from Ringrose takes Ireland deep into that 22. They go through the phases before Dara Murray finally gets over for the bonus point try on debut as well, converted for 26 points to 14. Scotland now back in the Ireland 22, looking for a chink in that Irish defence. They have numbers left, and Darge goes over to score, converted with 26 points to 21. And that was something Scotland did very well, is when they did have the numbers, they were able to get the ball there. We've seen previously, against Ireland, where they maybe been slow to move it and they weren't able to take advantage of that, but certainly not today, on the occasions where they did manage to create those numbers. Hugh Jones then, though, spills the ball at the kickoff, and Ireland good position to 22, but there's aggressive defence from Scotland, and that leads to a mistake by Gibson Park. Bundy Aki, then he's on, makes a real bust at the edge of the 22 to recycle quickly to Crowley, onto Frawley, peach of a pass, puts Tommy O'Brien through a gap and over the score, converted from 33 points to 21. Scotland then get pinged and Ireland point to the post. Crowley makes it 36-21. Scotland then, with a penalty at the restart, they go up the line and to their maul. Great work from McCluskey to sack them all, but there was an offside. They're pounding away at the Irish line before Ty Byrne yet again gets over that ball and wins a penalty. Scotland then lose the ball in the middle of the field. McCluskey first there, he breaks, and then lovely offload to Tommy O'Brien, who has the pace to finish, converted for 43 points to 21. Full time, Ireland win, and that's the Triple Crown. And yeah, what an amazing game of rugby that was. Feel sorry for Scotland because they really did, it was really did put in a massive effort. It's very different, I think, to the previous Scotland defeats to Ireland, where Scotland looked subdued and it's kind of been very slow and turgid from them. But we saw them being fluid today. Errors, I think, in that first half though meant that Ireland were able to go in at the break with that lead, and then again, Ireland just being more clinical, I think, of the two. But let's have a look at the stats and then we'll come back and talk about the teams. So let me pull it up here. Yeah, and I really felt for Scotland in this one, honestly, because it's another defeat to Ireland, but I think it certainly feels like a different type of defeat, in that they really put it out there, they put it up to Ireland, but Ireland just seems to be on that little bit of an upward swing at the minute. And the fact that we've talked about how Ireland's attack and their accuracy has improved all the way through the tournament, whereas Scotland, they've been more up and down. And I think we saw that in this game as well. But stats-wise, possession 46-54, so Scotland have more of the ball. And then territory 48-52, so Scotland slightly more of the territory as well. On to attacking then. Attacking minutes, 19.2 from Ireland, 23.7 from Scotland. 6 tries to 3. So Ireland scoring basically a try every 3 attacking minutes, whereas Scotland, they're pretty much out at 8 minutes per try. So you can definitely see the difference there between the teams in terms of turning that, those attacking moments into scores. Carries then 151 to 169. Meters carried 802 to 737. Meters gained 448 to 352. So you can see with that, Ireland turning more than half of their meters into meters gained, whereas Scotland, it's under half. So Ireland definitely doing better on the carry. Line breaks 7 each, and that's for 23 and 27 defenders beaten. So Ireland 1 and 3, and Scotland about 1 and 4 for that conversion. Total passes 163 to 183. Offloads 4 from Ireland, 9 from Scotland. Handling errors 5 from Ireland, 9 from Scotland. And then turnovers conceded 10 from Ireland and 14 from Scotland. On to kicking down, so kicks and play 22 to 21. So that's, kind of around about the average that we're seeing from Scotland. This Six Nations a bit lower than normal for Ireland. Kick meters 533 to 495. So a lot less kick meters from both teams, and you're seeing, a lot of those were contestable kicks, and we see that in here as well. Short tactical kicks 11 to 12. Onto defence then. Tackles made 232 to 181. Tackles missed 27 to 23. So 83% tackle success for Ireland, 84 for Scotland. So very even there. And then I think, out of the two teams, I think maybe the Irish scramble was a little bit better. Discipline then, penalties conceded 7 each. 1 free kick conceded each. 2 offensive penalties to 4 and 5 defensive penalties to 3, and no cards in the game. Onto the breakdown then. 103 rucks won to 134, 4 rucks lost to 3. And then in terms of how quick the ball was, so Ireland 0 to 3 seconds, 58% to 35. Then medium ball 4 to 6 seconds, 23 to 43. And then slow ball, so 6+ seconds, 19 to 21. So you can see in that Ireland did a really good job of slowing that Scotland ball down. And because of that, then, Scotland lacked penetration on the carry a lot of the times, simply because the Ireland defence was set a lot quicker. Then breakdown steals 2-0. Mauls 2 from 2 for Ireland and 4 from 5 successful for Scotland. And then finally, set piece. Scrums 1, Ireland 6 from 6, Scotland 2 from 3. So for once, Ireland actually have the edge in the scrum. Lineouts then, Ireland 10 from 10, excellent. Scotland 13 from 14, and that one that they lost was a steal for Ireland. So let's talk about the teams. As I said, Ireland, they seem to improve through the tournament. Even though, that game against Wales, you may say it was a bit of a dip from them, but generally, when Ireland make that number of changes, you will see a bit of a dip like that. But it was a hard-fought win, and at the same time, we saw an improvement in terms of just the crispness of their attack. And then we saw that again here today, that, when Ireland got the chances, they didn't take anywhere near as many phases as Scotland to actually find that gap and make it pay off. Whereas, by contrast, Scotland, they had to work really hard for each of their scores, and I think that took a toll on them overall. Ireland's defence, absolutely brilliant. Scotland at times, some good defence from them as well, but they were always chasing the game. It felt like when the teams were kind of trading tries during that period, that Scotland basically needed a double score. They needed to get 2 tries. They need to get your nose in front, and then suddenly you change the dynamic of the game, and you change the way Ireland have to approach the game as well. But they weren't able to do that, and part of that is again down to handling errors on their part, but also good defence from Ireland. But I think Scotland, it's been an up and down campaign for them. They've had 2 absolutely excellent performances, excellent results. And then, the 2 close games, Italy and Wales, 1-1, and they lost one of those. And then in this one, even though they kind of tried to stand toe to toe with Ireland, they, at the end of the day, it was only Ireland swinging in the last kind of period of the game, and that enabled them to pull away. So, you wonder with this Scotland team, again, the questions have to come up about the coaching and the leadership of the team. Like, can they actually produce, those isolated performances on a regular basis? At the moment, we haven't seen it this year. We haven't seen it in many, many years. And yeah, I still think there's question marks over Scotland. But at the same time, for Gregor Townsend, having beaten France and beaten England, well in this tournament, I still think his job is probably going to be safe. It'd be like really hard to replace him having done that, I think. Then for Ireland, there's plenty of questions about Andy Farrell coming back in, from the Lions and the direction that Ireland were going in the last year. But, apart from basically the opening weekend where they got, or wasn't even a weekend, it was a Thursday, but where they got, pumped by France, they've gotten 4 wins on the trot now. Some of them not pretty, but you could see those improvements coming, whether it was defense or set piece or ultimately the attack. You could see them coming through the tournament and you could see them moving in a positive direction. And that led to this win and the Triple Crown. I still don't think that it's going to lead to a title. Obviously, I'd be delighted if it does, but we have to wait and see what happens there.